Welcome to Wholistic Wednesdays, a podcast where we explore all things holistic. We're your hosts, Amy Barriga
and Shelly Berkowitz, two integrated healing arts practitioners who are passionate about helping people live healthier, happier lives.
Every Wednesday, we'll dive into a new holistic topic, from mindfulness and meditation to nutrition and fitness.
We'll share our own experiences, interview experts, and offer practical tips that you can use to improve your own health and well-being.
So whether you're a seasoned holistic practitioner or you're just starting your journey, we'll hope you'll join us for Wholistic Wednesdays.
We're here to help you on your path to a healthier, happier, more holistic life.
Today, we're talking about how to let go of negative thoughts. Negative thoughts can have a significant impact on our physical, mental, and emotional health. They can make us feel anxious, depressed, and stressed. They can also lead to unhealthy behaviors such as overeating, smoking, or drinking alcohol.
In this episode, we'll discuss some of the causes of negative thoughts, as well as some evidence-based strategies for letting go of them. If you're struggling with negative thoughts, I encourage you to listen to this episode. We'll give you some practical tips that you can start using today.
And remember, you are not alone. We all struggle with negative thoughts from time to time, but with the right tools, we can learn to let them go and live happier, healthier lives.
Let's start by talking about some of the causes of negative thoughts.
One of the most common causes of negative thoughts is past experiences. These experiences can have a significant impact on our mental health and well-being. Negative thoughts and self-talk can often be traced back to past experiences, particularly those that were traumatic, abusive, or even neglectful. These experiences shape our beliefs about ourselves and the people around us and the world in general. For example, if someone experienced abuse as a child, they may develop a belief that they are unworthy or undeserving of love and respect. And this can lead to negative self talk and just a negative outlook on life in general.
And the impact of that past experience on our mental health and well-being is undeniable. Negative thoughts can be often the byproduct of current stressors for what we may be experiencing in our lives. Sometimes it can be really difficult to maintain a positive outlook when we're dealing with work, relationships, or financial problems. Stress can cause our brains to become more attuned to negative thoughts and can even make it harder for us to see the good in our lives.
Low self esteem is a common issue that affects many people at some point in their lives. It can be defined as a lack of confidence in one's own worth or abilities. Individuals with low self esteem tend to have negative thoughts about themselves and their own capabilities, and they may constantly criticize themselves and doubt their own self worth. And this can lead to a variety of negative outcomes, such as depression, anxiety, and difficulty in social interactions.
One of the main causes of low self-esteem is a negative self-image. This can be a result of experiences such as bullying, rejection, or failure. And additionally, societal pressures to conform to certain norms and standards can also attribute to low self-esteem. It's important to recognize that low self-esteem is not a character flaw, but rather a learned behavior that can be unlearned.
I really love that. I really love that. And I think that's super important because people with low self-esteem, they do think it's a character flaw. They do think, well,
Absolutely.
I'm just insecure. I just have low self-esteem. That's just how I am. But it is a learned behavior. And like we could even relate that back to past experiences, especially childhood. So I really love that statement that you said, Shelley, that it's not a character flaw, it's a learned behavior that can be unlearned. Absolutely. And perfectionism, it can be both a blessing and a curse. While striving for excellence and doing your best can be a great motivator, perfectionists often set impossible standards for themselves and become their own worst critic. This can lead to a cycle of negative thoughts and self doubt, which can be detrimental to one's mental health and well being.
Perfectionists tend to focus on their mistakes and their failures rather than their accomplishments and their successes. They may feel like they're never good enough and that they're constantly falling short of their expectations. This can lead to feelings of anxiety, depression, and really low self esteem.
Anxiety and depression are two common mental health conditions that can have a significant impact on a person's life. And both of these conditions can contribute to negative thinking, which can further exacerbate the symptoms of anxiety and depression. So it just becomes a cycle of negative thoughts feeding the anxiety and depression that feeds more negative thoughts.
And when a person is experiencing all this anxiety, they may find it difficult to think clearly or rationally. They may worry excessively about things that are unlikely to happen, and they may feel overwhelmed by their emotions at the same time. This can lead to more negative thoughts about oneself and the world, which can then fuel the anxiety.
Do you remember, Shelley, we learned in college a certain percentage of our thoughts will never even happen?
Absolutely. And my mom has always said that 99% of our fears will never come true. So I always keep that in the back of my head. And it's really true. The next morning, everything always looks better. And typically, things don't always come true.
Right. It was we had learned something and I can't remember exactly the numbers, but it was like a certain percentage we think about future events that will never even happen. And it was a huge percentage. Like I want to say it was in the 90s, but maybe it was like 75 or something. But it was mind blowing to know that more than three-fourths of what we think about will never really even happen. You know, depression can also make it difficult to think positively. And a person with depression may feel hopeless, worthless, and even helpless. They may have negative thoughts about themselves, their future, and the world around them. And these thoughts can be pervasive, making it difficult to see any positive aspect of life.
The negative self talk can have a significant impact on our mental health and well being. It can lead to feelings of low self esteem, anxiety, and depression. And when we engage in constant negative self talk, we create a negative narrative
Mm.
for ourselves, which can affect our self image and our perception of the world around us. This can lead to a self fulfilling prophecy where our negative beliefs about ourselves become a reality. So you have to be careful because our thoughts can become things. You keep manifesting what you really don't want, but it's because you're just thinking the same thoughts.
That's powerful stuff you just said, Shelley. I just wanted to go, woo, right after you said it. I mean, it is so true. Our thoughts create our reality. So when we find ourselves in this negative narrative, I love how you said that. We create a negative narrative for ourselves. And then those negative thoughts become our reality. And negative beliefs can have a significant barrier to us achieving our goals of living a fulfilling life, living the life that we want for ourselves. These beliefs, these self limiting beliefs, can cause us to doubt our own abilities, limit our own potential, and even prevent us from taking actions towards our goals and our dreams.
Some common negative beliefs include I'm not good enough, I will never be successful, and the world is a dangerous place.
Wow, these are just some of the many causes of negative thoughts. And it's important to remember that everyone experiences negative thoughts from time to time. So you are not alone. Don't ever think you're alone because everyone has experienced a negative thought from time to time. However, if you find yourself constantly having these negative thoughts, it's important to seek help from a qualified professional.
Now, let's talk about some evidence based strategies for letting go of negative thoughts. There are a number of different strategies that can help you let go of negative thoughts.
First of all, acknowledging a negative thought is an essential step towards letting them go. Rather than trying to suppress them or ignore them, which is how I learned as a child, you know. I'm Gen X, so yeah, we were taught to suppress our emotions. We weren't allowed to feel. That's not right. You need to take a moment and observe them and analyze them, feel them, try to understand where they're coming from, what triggered them. And by doing this, you begin to identify patterns and develop strategies to manage them in the future. Acknowledgement is huge.
Also important to remember that negative thoughts are a normal part of the human experience. Everyone has them from time to time, like Amy said. It does not mean that you're a negative or a pessimistic person. Instead, view them as an opportunity to learn more about yourself and your own thought patterns.
And once you've acknowledged your negative thoughts, try to reframe them in a more positive light. So, for example, instead of thinking, I'm never going to be able to do this, try, I'm still learning and improving every day. And really, by shifting your focus towards more positive and constructive thoughts, you begin to let go of that negativity and you can move forward for more productive and fulfilling way.
By labeling your thoughts, it can be a helpful technique to manage them effectively. It involves acknowledging and then identifying which thoughts are thoughts rather than facts or reality. This can help you to create some distance between yourself and your thoughts, allowing you to observe them objectively. By recognizing them as thoughts, you can begin to evaluate their validity and usefulness.
This technique can be especially helpful for people who struggle with anxiety and depression. Like we talked about earlier, that plays a big role. So, as it can help reduce the power that the negative or intrusive thought has over them. So, with practice, labeling your thoughts can become an automatic and effective strategy for maintaining your mental health.
When it comes to thoughts, it's super important to take a step back and analyze them objectively. Sometimes we may be catastrophizing or jumping to conclusions without even realizing it. These types of thought patterns can lead to unnecessary stress and lots of anxiety, and can even impact our decision making abilities. One way to challenge your thoughts is to ask yourself if they're really true. In many cases, we might be assuming the worst without any evidence to support our beliefs. And by taking a more rational approach, we can often find that our thoughts are not as valid as we thought they were.
And another helpful technique is to examine the evidence for and against your belief. And this can help you to gain a more balanced perspective and make a more informed decision. It's also important to remember that our thoughts are not always an accurate reflection of the reality around us. And by challenging our thoughts and our assumptions, we can learn to think more critically and make better choices for ourselves.
In today's fast paced world, it's easy to become consumed by negative thoughts and emotions, whether it's stress at work, problems at home, or simply feeling overwhelmed. Negativity can hold and leave us feeling drained and defeated. However, one powerful way to combat that negativity is by focusing on the positive. When you find yourself caught up in negative thoughts, take a step back and then try to shift your focus to do the good things in your life. This can be your family, your friends, your health, your well-being, or your personal accomplishments and your successes. By taking the time to reflect on these positive aspects of your life, you can help to cultivate a more optimistic and hopeful mindset.
And one way to focus on the positive is by practicing gratitude. And this involves actively acknowledging and appreciating all the good things in your life, no matter how small or insignificant they may seem. By making a conscious effort to express gratitude on a regular basis, you can help to shift your focus away from negativity and towards a more positive and fulfilling outlook.
Mindfulness is a very powerful practice that can help you cultivate a greater sense of awareness and presence in your everyday life. At its core, mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without any judgment, and by learning to observe your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting caught up in them. Then you can develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your experiences.
One of the key benefits of mindfulness is that it can help you manage stress and anxiety. When you practice mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts and feelings without reacting to them. That is so powerful. This can help you to create a sense of distance from your worries and your concerns and allow you to approach them with greater clarity and perspective.
Another benefit of mindfulness is that it can help you improve your focus and your concentration. By training your mind to stay present in the moment, you can develop greater mental clarity and sharpen your ability to pay attention to the tasks at hand.
Sometimes negative thoughts can be very difficult to manage on your own, and it's important to recognize when you need help. Seeking professional help from a hypnotherapist, a counselor, a therapist, or a coach can be a great option for anyone who is struggling to let go of negative thoughts. We can provide you with support and guidance that you need to understand your thoughts and feelings and help you develop effective strategies for coping with them.
We can also provide you with a safe and supportive space to talk about your thoughts and feelings and help you to gain better understanding of why you might be experiencing negative thoughts in the first place. You can learn how to identify your negative thought patterns. You can challenge them. You can replace them with a more positive and constructive set of thoughts. This can help you to feel more in control of your emotions, and it can lead you to a happier, more fulfilling life.
If you're struggling with negative thoughts and emotions, don't hesitate to reach out for help. There are tools and support to overcome these challenges and move forward with confidence and resilience. These are just a few of the many strategies that can help you let go of negative thoughts. The most important thing is to find what works for you and to be patient. It takes time and practice to change your thought patterns, but you can do it.
And if you'd like more information about how to let go of negative thoughts or anything we talked about today, reach out to us at Wholistic Wednesdays at gmail.com. That's holistic with a W, or any of our social media pages. Be sure to follow us on Spotify or your favorite streaming app. What are we talking about next week, Amy?
We're talking about how to reduce inflammation. Inflammation is a natural process that helps our bodies heal. However, chronic inflammation can contribute to a number of health problems such as heart disease, stroke, cancer, and arthritis.
In this episode, we'll discuss the causes of inflammation and provide evidence-based tips for reducing it.
Inflammation is the body's response to injury or infection. When our tissues are damaged, our immune system releases the chemicals that cause inflammation. These chemicals can cause redness, swelling, pain, and heat.
Inflammation is a normal part of the healing process. However, chronic inflammation can occur when the body's immune system is constantly activated. We call that fight or flight, right? This can happen due to a variety of factors such as stress, poor diet, lack of exercise, and certain medical conditions.
Chronic inflammation can damage cells and tissues and can lead to a number of health problems.
We thank you for listening to Wholistic Wednesdays. Join us next week to learn what you can do to reduce this inflammation by making some simple changes to your lifestyle.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.